I've been in this Ayurvedic retreat for the last 10 days. And I've been going through this whole treatment called Pancha Karma, just rejuvenating the body from inside out to really see how I can remove all those toxins and everything else that's been collecting for many, many years. I normally do this every 2 to 3 years. This is the fourth time I'm doing this. And I've been using this device called the Aura Ring just to track my health. I bought this like maybe 6 to 7 months ago. It's like a Fitbit and like a tracking device where I'm wearing this. This tracks not only the steps but also my sleep, and it also tracks my readiness score every single day. Okay, and I'm just going to share something really interesting with you over here. I've been scoring numbers like this on a daily basis. So my readiness for the day is like 96%. So readiness is a unique score that this app actually tracks based on multiple parameters. What you eat, your heart rate, your and your sleep patterns, how deep have you been sleeping, all of those things. Okay, and even my sleep, they have a separate. I've scored 88%. So I'm really sleeping well, and I'm also waking up every morning with a lot more energy and creativity, because all of these impact my work. Okay, many of us think that just working hard is the most important thing to achieve success. No, it is about recovery. Even in fitness, right, when people are building muscle and building weight, it is not that they are building muscle only while they are building the muscle. It is also in the recovery where the muscle builds. So in this particular video, I want to share with you something that I've learned, and I'm going to decode the 3 secrets on how to 3 secrets to a healthy and prosperous life. Okay, I've been also doing a lot of study over here because I'm going through an Ayurvedic treatment. I've also been looking at that as a science, and I just want to give a quick disclaimer here. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert in this. I'm just going to share with you what's working for me. Just to let all of you know, I've been married for more than 12 years. I got married in 2008. Okay, and the year that I got married, I was the same body structure and weight, and after 12-13 years I've been the same. Why? Because of these factors. Okay, and the other thing is I go through this Pancha Karma treatment at least 2 years. So every time I do it, I feel at least 5 to 10 years younger. I'm talking about body age. Okay, so as I'm recording this video at this point, I'm 38 years old. I'm the father of 2 boys. Okay, and if you feel that I look much younger than that, it is because of this. I am conscious about a few things that I've implemented into my life, and there's a science behind it. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what this is from my perspective. Again, like religion, like faith, there can be so many different paths to achieving great health, but I'm just going to tell you what works for me. If it works for you, take it. Otherwise, just listen to it and just enjoy what's coming your way. Okay, so I'm going to share with you 3 secrets to a healthy and a prosperous life, because health will directly impact your business, and that's why I'm recording this video. Okay, so please take notes, and as you're taking notes, I want you to share the notes at the end of this video, towards the end in the comments below, so that everybody else can read your comments, and you can comment with each other and create some kind of engagement. Okay, so please take notes digitally and then share below. So let's go and look at this mind map here. So there are 3 dimensions to good health. Okay, from what I've studied and how things go. So we have the body, which is our physical body, and then under body there are 4 types of bodies. I'll tell you about that. Then we have the environment, which is influencing us, and then we also have space and time that also affects us. Okay, so there are 3 dimensions to good health. It is not just the body. Okay, and I'll explain this to you as we get into that. So when it comes to the body, there are 4 elements, and there are 4 types of bodies if you actually think about it. We have our physical body, we have our mental body, we've got the emotional body, and also the spiritual body. Okay, so mental and emotional pretty much will be more of an internal thing. So the spiritual body is our soul. Okay, and our soul, if our soul is fed on a daily basis, then through whatever practices that you're doing, meditation, all those things, it really impacts your emotional body, and that impacts your mental body. And if these are stable, then your physical body also gets stable. So everybody thinks that fitness is only from a very material or body or physical body plane. No, it actually goes into right into the deeper levels. Okay, so there are 4 types of different bodies that we have, and each of these bodies need to also be taken care of. So for example, your mental body, in case you are physically fit, but you're always thinking about things, and you're always not in a state, you're in a state of anxiety and fear and so on, then you got to work on that. That is your mental health. Okay, Emotional could be relationships. Maybe your relationships are not good. There is some friction in between members in the family. You really got to work on that, or maybe look at how you can be more peaceful within yourself. And because when you're more peaceful, there's an impact in your physical world. And let me explain this to you with an example. I'm just going to Google and type Louise Hay body signals, and the first article is causes and symptoms according to Louise Hay. That's a pretty detailed article on this alchemy of healing, where when you scroll down, you can see every single physical, every single physical ailment that comes to you has an emotional root cause. Okay, so abdominal cramps, abscess, accidents, aches, acne. There are so many. You look at the entire list, everything has a link to an emotional problem. Okay, so I'm not going to get into that. That's a different thing which you can go and do research on in depth. Okay, but the point what I want to make is that your physical health is directly impacted by your mental and emotional health. And to fix your mental and emotional health, or to keep it stable, you also need to have a spiritual practice or a spiritual process that can actually help you. Okay, so these are 4 types of bodies. So the body, if you look at, there are 5 ingredients. The body is made up of, if you look at the physical body, it's made up of earth, water, fire, air and ether, and all these 5 elements is what the body constitutes of. Okay, and to really keep these elements in play, or for them to be in the right possible balance, when you go deeper into, now I'm going to go deeper into Ayurveda. Okay, so when you look at Ayurveda, they have 3 aspects to Ayurveda. You have something called Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Like even right now I'm going to this whole treatment to balance these 3 things. Okay, so when I went through this, the first few days, my doctor said that I had more of Vata inside my body. Okay, there was probably more of that, so I need to balance it. So this is an ancient science that actually, if you if you go through it and if you understand the deeper aspect, it is to keep the body, mind and soul also together. Okay, and keep them aligned in the best possible way. So Vata is air. Okay, so air within the body. Then Pitta is a combination of fire and water, and this is like the digestion energy that is actually there. You need the fire of digestion also to digest things inside, so you need the fire also. And Kapha is more of the earth element and water, which is all the joints and all the muscles and all the other things. So it's a beautiful thing. So what I've been going through, this whole concept of Pancha Karma, what it does is, I'm doing this in Mysore in a place called IVAC, Indus Valley Ayurvedic Center, which is I think the #1 in India. Okay, and so the Pancha Karma treatment goes on for you can do 7 days, you can do 14 days. I'm doing the 21-day one. I'm going like the full-fledged. So what they do is the first few days they get your body prepared. There's a lot of massages that happen, and as the massages happen, whenever they massage your body using the essential oils and things like that, it removes all the toxins, and the toxins go and sit in the digestive system. Okay, and then once it's in the digestive system, they also start to give ghee in different proportions. So as soon as I wake up in the morning, I started with like 30 ml, then 60 ml, 80 ml, then it started to go 180 ml. I had a full glass of ghee. So this happens for 5 to 6 days, and after the 6th, on the 6th day, there's a purging that happens. They remove all of that stuff. So all the massage that happens, it pulls all the toxins from the body, goes into the digestive system, and the ghee is happening on a daily basis. And then on the last day, everything comes out. So yes, day before yesterday was my purging. Everything came out, and I was like, I was completely exhausted. But now I feel so much more refreshed, and you can probably see that in my face and my energy. And I'm still halfway through the treatment. There is another thing that I need to do after this to continue on this so that I'm back in shape. So I like to do this once in 2 years, because like how you give a car for a service, for once in a year, once in 2 years, you got to give your body for service. It makes sense, because all of this is like a machine, and we need to make this machine work. And if you're not taking care of your body right now, it'll all go into your hospital bills and stuff later. Okay, so might as well do this on a regular basis to keep yourself fit, and give yourself a break to do this, so that you're able to stay healthy for a longer period of time and you're able to be more aligned. So coming back to the science of Ayurveda over here, let's come back over here, is the whole concept, or the science, the science of Ayurveda is to keep these 3 in balance, and the factors that affect the balance of these elements inside your body are these things. Okay, it is the food, it is the water that you intake, your sleep, your exercise, your environment, and planets. I'm going to talk about environments and planets later, okay, the next part over here, okay, because all of these have an impact on our mind and body, okay. So are you all with me till this point? Just type with you in the comment box, okay, just type with you in the comment box. I've just set the foundation over here, and like I said, I'm not any doctor, I'm not any I'm just sharing my research based because I've been curious, I've been reading a lot of stuff on this, okay. So now let's come to this the second aspect of it, which is the environment, okay. So I realized that the environment also has a huge role to play in our huge role to play in our existence. So if you see, you have your physical space, you have your digital space, like what's on your phone and stuff like that, and then you also have your emotional space, emotions and emotions that are connected with it. So everything is interconnected, and I'll give you an example here. If you notice, in my community, I tell all my students that you need to declutter your space. Like if you come to my home and see, I have a very minimalistic wardrobe. I keep wearing the same shirts. I have very less things for myself, and I have a lot of space in my home. And I see that space that I've created for myself in my environment has actually helped me achieve more. Having less and doing more, okay? Less things, and it really impacts you. And I've noticed this whenever I go to a house and when I see that there's a lot of stuff lying around, what it means is the physical stuff that is there, it represents the emotional stuff which is there in that person's mind. I hope you'll agree with me. If you're somebody, you just tell me, if you're in a home, if you're living right now in a house where there's a lot of junk all around, and you may not see that junk, it may seem like a normal thing for you. But if you open up your eyes and see, and if you notice that there's so much of junk, you can be honest to yourself, and you know that there's a lot of emotional junk also happening in your head. Okay. And the more I studied about this, it started with the concept of minimalism, having less, doing more, less things, less stuff at home. Only the essential things have to be in each part of the room of the house and everything. The more I studied about this, I got amazed by this whole science, which is called Vastu, okay. So I'm actually reading this book. This particular doctor over here, he is a MD, the doctor who built this Ayurvedic retreat over here. It's a premium retreat. It's a number one in India, like I mentioned. Now he has been an anesthetic doctor, MD, lived in the US for 30 years and practiced proper medicine, and then he came back and he set up this Ayurvedic treatment center over here, and he's also authored a book on Vastu, okay. I was like, wow, how can a doctor actually do this? And it's not a religious thing here. This is like pure mathematics, okay. And this trip here, I actually went through this entire thing, and it is so amazing because what I was doing unconsciously, I'm able to see there's an impact on it. Okay, let me explain this to you on a more deeper level. And I'm not a Vastu expert, but I'm just here to tell you that everything makes sense now, okay. So if you look at this, just to give you an idea, the science of Vastu is from the word Vastu. Vastu means things, okay. So the things that you have in your environment have a direct impact on you. For example, maybe the pictures that you put on the wall, every time you look at those pictures, it evokes a kind of emotion. And the more that you see that, it triggers those emotions, and you may take action based on those things. That's why it's important, like even when you look at the personal development world, people say have a vision board. So when you look at that thing on a daily basis, you'll be more tuned to receive information. So for example, the body is like a television set, okay. Our body is like a television set, and the science of Vastu is like the antenna. Okay, so the things around you, if it's placed in the right way, in the right zone, it will help you enhance your receiving of the information, whatever information it may be, okay. And if you look at, even in my community, I ask people to listen to the strangest secret in the world every single day to tune their mind to receive information, because when you're listening to the strangest secret every day, it's like you're tuning to a radio frequency of abundance, and from that frequency you're going to be getting knowledge, you're going to be getting ideas that can help you progress in your life and your business, okay. So that's more from a mind perspective, but the environment also has a huge role to play. So there are many rules when it comes to Vastu, and the whole concept of Vastu it's a mathematics. It's pure mathematics. It is pure science. It is not a religion. It is whether you believe in this or you don't believe in this, it works. It's like whether you believe in gravity or you don't believe in gravity. If you put something from You throw something from the terrace, it's going to fall down. Okay. Similarly, Vastu is also a unique, it is a science that has been used for ages. Even if you look at some of the great temples like Angkor Wat, Cambodia, you look at Srirangam temple in South India, which is I think Asia's largest temple complex. Everything is following these same principles. Okay, some basic principles are, there should be more weight on the southwest and more space in the northwest. And you know what, when the more I studied about this, each of these different directions and space in the environment, it is governed by the elements. Okay, when we spoke about the 5 elements that the body is comprised of, the same 5 elements, they rule these different directions even within a space that we're living in. That's why the kitchen has to be in a particular space, your office should be in a particular space, your master bedroom should be in a particular space, your front door should be in a particular space. And all of these have an impact on your mind. Okay, and all of these have an impact in the stuff that you do. So I'm not going to go deep into this, but I'm lucky to have got a signed copy on this. And even Feng Shui is the same, it's a Chinese version of the same thing. But what I see, Vastu goes much more deeper because it's connecting with the body as well. It's connecting with the body elements, including the Vata, Pitta and Kapha angle to it. Like I mentioned, there are many paths to achieving a goal. It's just you need to pick whichever path suits you. For me, this path suits me. I'm talking about the path of Ayurveda, the path of Vastu, and I never go deep into it. Like until now, I started to study a little bit more about it, just to understand it, not to do any consultation in this and that, but just to check if the space around me is going to be conducive to what I'm doing or not. Okay, and it's very important to have that awareness. Now there's another angle to this. Okay, now the third angle, the third dimension, and I hope this is making sense to all of you. The third dimension is okay. We spoke about physical space, digital space, emotional space. The third dimension is space and time. Okay, and this is something which, if you look at overall personal development and overall, people in Western philosophy or Western, law of attraction and this and that, they don't really touch into this domain here. Okay, and this domain, what I talk about, it comes down to core Vedic philosophy. And Vedic, when I use the word Vedic, it does not mean any religion, because Vedic is what they also call as Sanatan Dharma, which is eternal. It is eternal concepts that work for mankind. It is not for a particular segment or sect of people, because religion conveys an idea of faith, but faith can change. And it does not matter what faith you're in, but these concepts have a play on us as human beings. Okay, like for now, this space and time talking about is the planets. Like if you look at the moon cycles and the solar cycles, all of these have an influence on our mind. Okay, and that's why there are specific things that you need to do on specific days to really, to enhance your spiritual power, things like that. Look at any culture, like full moon days, people can draw more energy. Even if you look at animals and stuff, they go more in tune with the solar and lunar cycles. Even the plants and stuff, they grow in these cycles. Everything is cyclical in this world, right? So while solar and lunar are the main things that most people look at, okay, you can go beyond that into the rest of the planets. And that is where the science of Jyotish comes into play. Jyotish is the Vedic astrology. Okay, now this seems like a different territory here, right? But when I was reading this book, even though it is a book on say Vastu, but what doctor was mentioning very clearly is all of these three are interlinked. See, Ayurveda is for the body, Vastu is for the space around us, and Jyotish is to align yourself with the planets. So our body is like the television set, the space around us, the Vastu is like the receiver, and the actual information that you're going to be getting to that receiver is going to come through the different planets. So if your body is in tune with the space around to receive whatever information needs to come from different planets, and if you're aligning your life with the planetary movements, then you're going to be living a much more harmonious and a fruitful life. Okay, and there's another angle of karma over here, which most of the Western people totally neglect. They think they can do whatever they want, they can visualize whatever they want, and they can manifest whatever they want without understanding another dimension called action and reaction, and the action that they've done in the past. Okay, and these action reactions could go back to many lifetimes. It could be in the same lifetime, and some of these reactions could come even in the next lifetime, provided you are aware of these things. Okay, and there are some karmas which you can negate through good activities, but there are some karmas which you cannot. If you have done something where an action in the past where you have to suffer a reaction, not I don't want to use the word suffer. If you are to experience a reaction, whether it's a positive or negative reaction, you have to experience it, okay? Because that is a law of that's how things work. It's a universal law. It is not a religious thing over here, okay? So when it comes to the third dimension, let's go and understand that. And what I've understood is, when it comes to space and time, yeah, there's an element of karma, there's an element of planetary influences, and there's an element of timing. And again, based on the time that you're born, the karmas that you're born with, and that's why you have a concept called gotras. If you're born into a particular family, gotra is nothing but genes, okay? It's all more about genetic things. So for example, I'm born in a gotra called Srivatsa Gotra. So I cannot marry anybody else in the same gotra, because then it really won't help in the progeny to move forward in the best possible way. There has to be like a mix. It's just like genetic mapping should be done in not within the same group, okay? Even blood groups and stuff like that, right? So I'm not gone in depth into the concept, but from a Vedic perspective, gotras is to tell you in which sect you're born, so that you're able to procreate and bring forth a healthy next generation. So it's a very scientific thing here. Then you have the whole aspect of nakshatras, or the different stars that you're born in. So we have the zodiac signs, which is there in any way, the Western thing. The nakshatras also based on the time that you're born, you know what personality you are, okay? Because each star sign has an influence on you, the planet has an influence on you, which would bring out with a particular set of qualities that you're given to work with, okay? And based on the interplanetary movements, some of these qualities get enhanced in a person, or it reduces. Or let's say, for example, if somebody has a Saturn or something like that, the only way I look at it is maybe you have to work harder during that phase to really achieve whatever goal that you want. And I've been through those phases, and the more I'm aware about this, I understand that that was meant to be in my life to progress me to the next phase of my life. So most of the people, if I see in this whole space of Jyotish astrology, they use fear psychology. They say, something bad is going to happen to you, go and do this remedy and go wear this ring and this and that and all that stuff that happens, okay? But actually, if you look at it from a very logical perspective, and I'm very blessed to have someone like Karthik Gaur who guides me. Now, I don't go for astrological consultations every single day for every small thing. In fact, you should not do that, okay? Otherwise, you'll get too bogged into this whole thing. Don't go too deep into it. For important decisions, let's say you want to start a business, or you want to invest in a new home, or you want to do a special occasion for your family. Let's say someone is getting married, you're getting married, or you want to do some kind of a ceremony or anything which is of significance and importance, or what they call a samskara, okay, within your family. For those things, it's important to check timing, because when you're aligned with the planets with the right time, and you perform that activity with a lot of focus, determination, it has an impact on the doer. It has an impact on the person who's doing it. So and even when you're starting a business, like for example, when I was talking with Karthik, he was saying that the time that India was born, 1947, that particular time when they signed the Declaration of Independence of India, that was the birth of the country. And based on that time, you can actually map out the entire chart even of a country, okay? It's not about mapping charts just for humans, just for us as people. And he has mapped out charts of countries, and countries also have a persona, okay? For example, he was mentioning Pakistan, they were born I think the next day, so their chart was slightly different, and they are more accustomed to military rule, and it's a very different it's a different experience people are having in that country as compared to here, all based on one day's difference of when they were born. So it is a deep science. If you actually go deep into it, you'll understand there's a logic to everything. There's a logic to everything. You cannot just say, okay, this is just some, you cannot be ignorant, okay? Ignorance is not bliss, especially when it comes to these sciences. Ignorance is not bliss. But again, you don't have to go too crazy into it. There are some people who go too crazy, and their entire life they just keep they don't allow life to flow. They want a validation for every small thing. You don't need validation for every small thing. We also have the power. We have minute free will, and we need to really exercise that free will. We have the power to create. Just like our creator has created this entire universe, we also have the power to create on a very minute level. Okay, and when I say minute, we can create our own life based on what we think about, and we can manifest what we want. But there's also a dimension of karma, and there's also a dimension of timing. When you're able to look at these two aspects through the lens of Jyotish, then you'll be able to move forward. And I'll give you the example of this. So let's say you're driving in a car, and I'll tell you how Jyotish, how I look at astrology as a science. Suppose you're driving in a car and you're going really fast. Okay. Now Jyotish is only going to give you like an indicator of what's coming up. Suppose now you get an indicator that, okay, there could be a road bump in the front. Now you don't have to go so fast. You can slow down. So when you go over the bump, you know, and you smoothly go over it. Okay. Whereas on the other side, you have somebody who is not aware of this. They just go super fast and they go hit the road bump and then they go and crash. Okay. Now that is the difference on how to use this science. These sciences are only indicators. These sciences have been given to us by our great sages in the past to help us live a better quality life. These are tools that have been given to us, irrespective of religion, irrespective of caste, creed, color. No, all of that is secondary. These are tools given to us by the great sages to help us, to actually make us use them in the best way to live a much more healthier and prosperous life. Okay, so just to integrate these learnings over here, we have the body. Okay, the body is made up of these different elements. Okay, and the science that I believe, not believe, I don't want to use the word believe, the science that I prefer to use for my health is Ayurveda. Okay, as far as the environment is concerned, physical space, digital space, emotional space, I do the basic stuff, and I do some basic vastu check. Like I recently moved into a new home, and I did the basic checks, not too in depth, but see, anything that's scoring above 80 or 90%, it's good. The smaller details can always be worked out. The main points need to be in place. Okay, so you need to look at that as a checkpoint. So if you're living in a space right now, and probably if you do your own research on this, and if you feel that your life is not moving forward, maybe there are a few things that are a few major points that need to be fixed as far as your space is concerned. And if you have to move space, you'll never know, because once you are able to shift that pattern, things will start to flow, because you're aligning yourself with the channel. You're not swimming against the current. Okay. And the third dimension to look at is space and time. Okay, and this is a deep topic, personally, I don't plan to go and become an expert in this, but I just want to know. I want to have just enough awareness so that I make the right decisions. That's it. Okay, because we also need to exercise our free will. We also need to exercise the power of our mind to really move forward. So a few tips that I want to give you just to sum up is, one is I want you to think about your entire life in terms of cycles and align it in terms of cycles: daily, weekly, monthly, yearly cycles. See, because everything is in cycles, like the seasons are in cycles, our life and death is in cycles. If you look at everything, the sun moves in cycles. So even from a business perspective, if you can work in a daily cycle, like every day I work for 2-3 hours and I take a break. I work for 2-3 hours, I take a break. So work in cycles. Every week you can work in cycles. So I do a 4-day work week. I work on Monday, Tuesday, I take a break on Wednesday. I work on Thursday, Friday, I take a break on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, unless I have some events that are happening. So when you're able to work in cycles, you'll start to see more productivity in yourself. And then you can also put your month into a cycle. So your monthly activities and even yearly cycles. So for example, what I'm going to do, this Ayurvedic retreat, 21-day retreat, this time I'm doing a 21-day. I'm going to make this into a yearly cycle. Once in a year, for at least 14 days, I'm going to come out, take a break and just service my body. It's going to be a part of my yearly cyclical routine. Okay, so there'll be a space for, I'm going to add in health once in a year, family time and vacation once in a year, once or maybe twice or even thrice in a year, and then I map it out based on that. So every 3 months I want to do something that can actually help me more get rejuvenated to get back into work. So the first tip I want to give all of you is work in cycles to be more aligned. Second tip is look at your space and see if you can declutter your space. 3 is be aware of your food, water and sleep. And if you have to do a treatment like this, just do an Ayurvedic treatment. If you have to come to this place, amazing. Just search for IVAC Mysore, and they're the best in the country. They're really good at what they do. Okay, and 4 is go and explore these ancient sciences. If you really see that what I am talking is making sense to you, come and explore these sciences. You don't have to go deep into it, like study it so that you consult, because this is an ocean. These sciences are not something which you can just learn. The person that who guides me on the basic things, he has spent 12 years in the Himalayas to learn this science. Okay, he spent 12 years in Himalayas. So it is not something you can just learn like that. You have to dedicate your life to this, and you don't have to do that if this is not your thing. Okay, because this is not my thing. My thing is just to learn or just get pointers and tips, and like, I don't want to know how electricity works. I want to know where to put the switch. That's it. I don't need to know how the grid is made. I don't need to know how the wires are created. All of that, you don't need to know that. Okay, I just need to know which switch to press on when to press it. That's it. To that extent, if you're able to have the awareness, that's great. Okay, so as I come to the end of this video, I hope you found this video useful. Please share in the comment box right now below, if you've taken notes, what did you learn from this? Give me at least your top 5 or top 10 points on what were your biggest takeaways. And if you're a part of my community, use the hashtag ILH family and use the hashtag ILH deep learner if you're a deep learner. And I have another gift I want all of you to go and check out one more thing over here. Okay. So this is going to be something which you might have not seen, a side of me that you would have never seen before. Okay. Now, if you found this information useful, I go deeper on a research that I did a few years back. I would like you to go to Google and type God, demigods, and incarnations. Okay, it's a pretty out of the box topic. If you go and type that in Google, you'll come to a video that I had done in 2017. Okay, go and watch this video. It's a 1 hour, 10 minutes video where I go deep into every single thing you can ever think of when it comes to the religious side of things, and I decipher religion and every religion you can think of with a very open-minded approach, because I respect all religions and all cultures, and I've done a deep research on this, and I've integrated this all together. Okay, this is going to be a mind-blowing thing, and you will see that it'll open up your mind to a whole new way of looking at even spirituality. Okay, so just search for God, demigods, and incarnations, and you'll see my video with a yellow color thing there. Click on that and go and check it out. Okay, cheers, God bless, and I look forward to seeing you in my future videos. Bye bye.